Hey, if you're watching this episode of The Patch on YouTube, just want to remind you that we live stream The Patch exclusively for first members on our website at roosterteeth.com every Wednesday afternoon. If you'd like a 30-day free trial, just click the link below in the description for some more information. Hello, welcome to The Patch. This week brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. There it is. It's not on that monitor. It's over there. Dollar Shave Club. It's The Patch. I'm Gus.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Adam.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Gus.
I'm still adjusting my mic.
You came in hot.
I did. It's because I've been playing Forza for research. You do know it is actually pronounced Forza, right?
Is that the appropriate pronunciation?
You put a
It
T
is
in
because it's Italian. Say pizza. Is there a T in pizza, Ryan?
Pizza.
Huh?
Pizza.
Ryan?
Pizza.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
All right.
Didn't
All right.
think
All
so.
right. You got
Okay,
me. Okay. It's a fair point. I get it now.
What
No,
do-
actually,
what
that
does-
comes up like anytime.
Except there's two Z's in pizza.
What does Forza mean?
Fast
Fast.
car.
Does it?
I'm just making that up.
You both said fast. I really believe you.
Yeah.
Meaning.
Means game about driving.
I need to actually connect to the Wi-Fi.
Maybe here's my. I don't love driving games, and I think maybe it's because I already spend 2 hours a day driving a car. It's really not escapism for me at this point.
It's a tad different. It's like playing GTA versus actually
So
robbing
you get
people.
guns. No.
But I don't get into racing games a lot.
It
but
Usually means strength or force. On this definition, though, strength
force.
is
There you go.
misspelled.
What is it? What's
Strength.
Stink.
Strength.
Nice.
All right.
to be strong, Forza de gravity is gravity force. So, force or strength.
But isn't-
let's call it strength of force.
I was just gonna say gravity seems like an odd choice for a game about vehicles made to self-power, not reliant on potential energy at the top of a hill to go fast.
Italian, literally force.
Gravity.
According to dictionary.com.
It's like
and
soapboxes.
dictionary.com, I'm going to listen to over most other
Soapbox
places.
racers. That's a thing, right?
So, yeah, that's why it's pronounced with a T. But that actually comes up
Forza.
pretty much anytime we do news or mention Forza or anything. Half the people in the comments will say it's pronounced Forza, and the other half of the comments will say it's pronounced Forza. Why are you putting a T in it? There's not a T in it. And
I'm going to keep saying Forza.
You can't.
Forza.
You
Forza
can't
does
please
sound right
people
now
either
I'm
way.
thinking about it.
Forza does.
Forza does.
I'm
Sound
with
right.
you. There's only one Z. If pizza.
Yeah,
two
pizza's
Zs.
got the
I don't know. This pronunciation here does put a T in it.
I think it's pizza's got it's like a hard I that sounds like a T, but it's still an I. It's pizza.
It's an I ending in T.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, but I've been playing that.
I'm just not much of a racing fan. Like when I was younger, I played a lot, like all the early Gran Turismos. But I feel like it's a genre that I've fallen out of touch with.
I have too, honestly, and a lot of that is because back in the day, I did play Gran Turismo when I was a lot younger, like on PS2 era. Turismo. And then
Turismo.
on Xbox, though, I really got into the PGR series. So like PGR 3 was one of my jams.
I like those games.
I could play that game so long.
Yeah, those are fucking awesome. This is the last time I played a racing game, though.
I think the last racing games I played were like some of the Burnout series. Maybe like Burnout Paradise.
Right. There's like a pretty big rift between like a Forza Motorsport and a Burnout, though. Like they're very, like Horizon is kind of arcadey compared to like a PGR or Gran Turismo or a Forza Motorsport.
Okay.
Or Forza Motorsports are more sim-y, where they're more realistic in their handling of the cars. But I love playing, like Burnout games are fun, but I don't consider those racing games. I just consider them like arcadey driving games, especially Burnout Paradise.
So it's not a racing game, it's a driving game.
Right.
Okay.
But
know
I'm
that's
driving, I'm racing, and I
Like
don't know.
Euro Truck Simulator.
It's a fair distinction, actually, because I feel the same way.
Right. I feel like maybe I should just clarify and say it's an arcadey racing game rather than just a racing game.
One of the reasons that I haven't played the Horizon series until now is because I don't get into the sim racers as much. I like to pretend that I could drive really fast and not fly off mountains and or spend all my time being guided along by guardrails. And arcade racers help me with that illusion.
You feel like the reality of physics is not quite as enjoyable as the slightly gamified physics.
Exactly. So because of the realism inherent in the Forza Motorsport series, I didn't even consider that Forza Horizon would take another approach, would take a more arcadey approach.
Yeah,
So
like they're so strict about it that in the last Forza game, the Warthog was in it, but you couldn't drive it because they couldn't model what the tire would be like in the real world.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, but so I guess that makes sense because on this one, they're like, if it's Horizon, if that's the distinction, if it's an arcade game, I guess that's why.
What,
Like, oh, yeah,
what
put it
does that
there.
mean? You can't model what it's like in the real world.
I guess like those tires could not physically really exist. Like they don't really exist. So
They were still
We
round,
had
right?
we had a
have
Warthog.
the
We had tires. It really
real-
existed.
not like we didn't have like a game version of the Warthog though. I mean, you know, for example, it couldn't flip itself by itself.
Well, it still had tires.
It did have
That were
tires, but
round.
I imagine
Those
that
tires don't
those
exist.
yeah, the video game tires
that mean?
didn't. So
What do you
the
mean? What
Forza
does it mean?
series,
It's all video games. None of them exist.
Turn 10 gets really, really into the tiny physics, though. Like the way like a tire
Interfaces
crushes a
with
little
it,
bit, it
yeah.
interfaces with the road. Like when you turn and a little bit more weight goes on to this tire, and how does it interact with the road versus not?
This is my dubious face.
There is a level of fun to sim games. I don't think I find fun in them when it's a racing or sim.
I just accept that people play racing games for different reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and people who are good at sim racers are really good. They have just this innate understanding of how all the pieces work together, and just the micro changes that will determine whether you're going to make the curve or whether you're going to go flying off the edge. And the arcade racer helps me make up for not having the innate understanding.
It helps you have more fun even if you're not that great.
I think a lot of times, people who like those really hardcore sims, like they're car people, right? Like they know like how all of the different
Right, they want to
systems
feel the
work together.
nuances between the different cars.
Right.
That's like Joel.
That's generally the folks that like really building their legit command center cockpit kind of style setup too.
I
They'll-
fucking love that stuff, dude.
Yeah, they'd like the racing chair with the physical wheel, and then a lot of times
The
they'll do like the
hydraulic
3 monitor
pumps on the
setup.
chair.
Yeah.
So you got the window set up and the front, and then
You ever see the steering wheel for an F1 car? Like not like a
the
real F1
detachable
car?
ones, and they're like the
Yeah, it's
one
got
that
like-
looks just like bow tie pasta.
Yeah,
or-
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
tons of buttons on it. Like
Yeah.
that shit's intimidating.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I can drive. Then if you put me in that car, I'd be like, I don't know.
Those are all just radio.
Why is there an
settings,
eject
it's fine.
button?
Looks like a plane. What is this altitude setting?
Why does this one just say "Help, I'm burning"? I just-
Oil slick.
I can't tell because it's invisible, but I think I'm burning.
I feel
No,
hot.
we should come back to
Stomp me
weird
out.
control surfaces after this conversation. Though,
Oh yeah, hold on. What weird control stuff? Now I'm really curious.
I just want to talk about. I've been playing a little bit of Elite Dangerous with a badass HOTAS and a Vive.
Okay, let's back up for people who don't know what a HOTAS is.
HOTAS is hands on stick and
And
throttle.
by that I mean
or
me.
throttle and stick.
Throttle and stick. Yeah.
Which means you have a joystick and you have a throttle.
Yeah.
And the Vive is the VR headset.
Which is what the traditional fighter jet
What
cockpit is.
what setup do you have for your stick and?
It's
throttle?
not mine. I'm actually using Marcus's. It's an X55. I think it's the Rhino,
X55 Rhino.
the Cytec X55 Rhino.
Which it's a very small market, right? There's only a few people that make
Right.
that
And
kind of joystick
This
setup.
is like a pretty big investment for some. Like this is. I think it's being used for one game and it's Elite Dangerous, and it's only
so
the
this is-
tutorial missions.
I'm looking
This
it up.
this is an expensive hardware peripheral on top of an already expensive VR headset.
Yep. Well, so I don't think you necessarily need the Vive. Well, you definitely don't need the Vive to play Elite Dangerous. I think you do need a HOTAS or a controller because the keyboard and mouse is nonsense. But
Yeah, you hear that, all you people that are enjoying Elite
Nonsense.
Dangerous? The way
Dude,
you're enjoying it is not
controlling your ship with the keyboard and mouse in that game does not
It-
work good.
Elite Dangerous it has a very steep learning curve on how to actually negotiate that ship.
Yes, and like the rest of the game. So
Yeah.
I've only done the training missions repeatedly. I tried to
Why?
look because I tried to look at the
Because
main.
he's training.
I tried to look at the main game, and it's like,
Oh my God.
it's too intimidating. Like there you go. That's Marcus is playing it. But like being able to have that headset on.
Where are you guys?
There's a little secret room. Over
There's
in
a-
stage
You guys
two.
have a
Wait,
secret
there's
room?
a secret VR room?
You didn't know about it?
I didn't know about
It's a
it.
secret.
Wait,
Well, you
It's over there.
Okay, so anyways,
are we in
okay.
on the secret?
So being able
I guess
to
we are
like
now.
being able to physically look around your ship, especially
one?
when you're in a dogfight and you see the ship go over you, and you can kind of just peek up and like look up out your window.
Right.
It is unreal. And I feel like that is the reason that seated VR experiences exist, is to give you that sense of immersion in something like a mech or a spaceship. And like
Star Citizen.
I don't want to even think about Star Citizen. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I am about to go, like, if I want to find the right HOTAS for me, and I want to go just do this at home. And I kind of want to build like one of those chairs where it's strapped to the chair and you're just like, you're fucking in it. Because it is a blast. You need to try it.
Well, and the next level of that is the people that build in, as you mentioned earlier, like the full-on hydraulic systems into the chair, which there are many DIY plans to build those at home. I'm not sure what they're using as a power source.
How do
or
they
as a lack for
interface with
locomotion.
the game?
That's a good question.
Arduino stuff?
So that data comes out, and you have an Arduino that interprets it and it controls them?
I don't know how to make one, so I don't know the details, but I believe it's Arduino.
Okay.
I also want to say that the Vive used to have, I don't know if it still does, but it used to have issues with rendering text in your spaceship where you basically couldn't read it.
It's real fuzzy. It's just
I
takes
think
very high
it's
sharpness.
okay right now.
They turned on like super sampling or something like that to clear it up?
I honestly loaded it up with whatever the default settings were, and didn't have to mess with anything. And the text is a little blurry, but it's not unreadable by any standards. But like most text with the VR, you kind of have to read it in the center of your vision in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
So you can't quite read stuff that's up here.
It reminds me of
A lot of it has to do with font
makes sense,
size and aliasing. Super sampling is a process by which they over render it, essentially. That makes it a lot more legible. But DK2 was particularly bad, but modern generation is pretty decent.
I don't know. Have you guys played Elite Dangerous at all?
I have it installed. People keep saying I need to play it because I love that kind of game, and I just haven't launched. I need to get.
It's one of those games that's like it is a space sim and not just a space game. Kind of like Horizon versus Motorsport. Like there's so much depth and detail to like every little system that they have that it's intimidating to get into. I don't even know where to start. Like if you read the subreddit, it like you just go to any thread and it feels like you're reading Chinese because they're saying like like half of the words they're saying and the rest of them you're like, I don't know what this relates to.
It is, I mean, it very much, there was a lot of people that drew a parallel between it and the space sections of No Man's Sky, only deeper, obviously.
So
I don't even know what they're looking at on the screen.
this what's up. So I just sent this to the control room to bring up. This is actually related. I believe is this the steering wheel?
That is an F1 steering wheel.
So-
Oh my gosh.
We were talking about in terms of complicated inputs. I guess the difference between professional racing and I guess like arcade racing, which is what we do every day to and from work.
Right.
I'd say that what we do is arcade compared to that right
How
there.
many of
That is a cheat
those? How many of
sheet.
those buttons do you ever think they use?
I mean, that one just is labeled as special button. So
Is there,
I don't know
is there one that just says go fast?
Did he touch your special
all
button?
All of them are go fast. I guess the dial is probably like the custom tunings, maybe on. This.
I think you can customize your air fuel mixture, maybe.
It's amazing how many details they can tweak in those vehicles to tune the performance very precisely for what they're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah, so shout out to Nerdtron JJ who sent that cheat sheet into us. So we now all understand exactly how to control
I could drive an F1 car.
F1 vehicle and get the most out of it.
If you ever find yourself in one.
Right. I mean, let's say you're walking along one day and, oh, look, F1 vehicle just on the side of the road with the keys in. What are you going to do? Not drive it?
Oh,
No.
absolutely.
Do you think they have keys, or is the steering wheel a key since it detaches?
Or just like-
God, I have to hope they're beyond keys.
Maybe there's a
You
fob.
park, and then you like have to fucking take it out when you go to the restaurant.
It's like that stupid keyless key fob that you like sit on in your pocket and it sets off the alarm.
Realistically, though, you sit in that thing, you push the pedal, and you fly into a wall and die immediately.
Pretty
right?
much.
There's no surviving your
I
initial
wonder if
pedal
there's a
press.
set on fire button.
There's
There
probably
are
a
enough
help I'm on
buttons.
fire button.
Just like ignite.
Yeah, no, it's done. They burn it down behind me like, oh, I'm abandoning vehicle. No one can have our secrets, which a lot of those companies have very proprietary stuff going on under the hood.
Well, thankfully, I guess, for their secrets, when one of those vehicles wrecks, there's not much left to reverse engineer.
Also, there's not like you could just stop at the gas station and tank it up either. It's don't they use like Nion rocket fuel in those things?
It's a very specific mixture.
Super high octane.
Do you ever? So you mentioned having a badass HOTAS setup.
Yeah.
HOTAS setup. Do you ever read the Battle Station subreddit?
Yeah,
That was it. That's what I was trying to think
What's
of what
the
it was
Battle
called.
Station subreddit?
It's pictures of people's PC setups and like They range from like a cool sleek monitor and a thing to like craziness.
Those aren't loading for
Well, that
some
one had a
reason.
cat nest, so I'm cool.
A cat nest?
Cat nest.
See-
Oh my God.
Yeah, God, it's such a cool subreddit.
You want to
But it's
send
also
that
like-
through to broadcast?
It's also like the subreddit of like the stuff you'll never be able to afford because it's so outrageously expensive. Like some of these setups are like $15,000 worth of stuff. It's insane.
Look,
pretty
I mean,
impressive.
other people
Look at that.
buy
That
cars.
is
Some
insane.
people buy. Yeah, I mean, just go ahead and spend it.
It's
on
also
the
like
computer.
it's gorgeous. Like
That's not even the. That's
Well, if we wanna get-
barely complicated compared to most of them.
Hold on.
yeah.
Should we try and neg these guys? Like, really, the 3 monitors are nice looking and everything, but you couldn't even spring for curved
wow, they went with
versions?
blue lights and a
look,
red chair.
Well, you-
Also,
it
the
wouldn't
color
make sense. You
balance
can't
is
curve.
really not there.
3, could you?
I
You
don't
just have
see
to
why
wrap
you couldn't
around, yeah.
curve
Yeah, you
3.
can.
It's
can.
still wrap
Yeah.
around, and then you're.
I think there's some
That's
games
a
that support
battle
it.
station.
Witcher supports
that,
it.
That's not a battle station. What?
You know what? No. The
I'm
new-
not
the
jealous
new-
at
there's
all.
a
Look at the PC setup. Is that their PC in the left?
Like the whole huge
Yeah, no, it
open.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a battle
the
station.
cryogenically frozen person in there.
They sleep in that at night.
You
Keeps
know,
them toasty.
the thing you're talking about, I can't remember the name for it, but the new Pascal GPUs like solve that where you can't turn your monitor without distortion. They solve that problem.
Or you can't turn your monitor without.
Like when you can't have them bent in like this way without like the view being distorted. They've solved that issue.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So first of all, on the subject of F1, I think that Danny O'Dwyer,
Yes.
who just left GameSpot, he's an enormous F1 fan. We should bring him on sometime.
He has an F1
and quiz him
podcast.
about things. Yeah, he loves that stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, he might be
Him and-
coming to Austin soon for F1.
Really cool. Yeah. 'Cause we have the Circus of the America.
Yeah, we have one here, and we're all just like, I don't really
Dude,
know.
I got to go to the Circus of the Americas one time during like there's like private rich people drive their fancy cars days, and I got invited to one, and it was just private rich people driving their fancy cars around this awesome track, but it was fucking awesome, and I'm not even a car person.
I would
This
love
is
the idea
crazy.
of someone just pulling out there with a Toyota Corolla, though.
No, I mean, I don't know. There's something like
With-
walk
with-
down there
on
and see
donuts?
like
Souped up badass Toyota
Yeah.
Corolla
no,
ever.
no. There
I wanted
was-
to like
there-
flip a switch
there
and like all
was-
the panels flip, and it's like.
I can't remember the model of car because I'm not a car guy, but there was like cars that looked like they were like sleepers, like they looked like not great, but then they were like flying around the track. But then you also saw like Lamborghini Aventadors, which are just like the Batmobile basically.
And then a VW Bug smokes them all.
Yeah, so people that are watching the patch know a lot more about cars than we do.
Yes.
No Time to Bow Down on Twitter says that F1 cars are started by the crew in the garage with an anti-stall to stop them being stranded on the track if they come to a stop. And then Chupa Chump, that's a great name,
Chupa Chump.
said there's no keys, there's an hour of warming the engine up and a separate starter motor. It's a
They have
couple
to do this. They do
$100,000
this,
maybe.
and then they touch the motor, and then they do this, and they like slowly warm it
defibrillator?
up.
So
Just
how,
put
how
it in the
long? How long
microwave.
do you think that it'll take before racing and stuff like that is all done via remote? Because nowadays you have
Never.
No, I
That's
mean
not the point of
Never.
racing.
Yeah.
It sure it is. It's about the skill of the driver driving. I'm not saying like a robot should control it. I'm saying the driver should be able to control it remotely, like
No.
for safety reasons. Listen, like you have like people driving drones nowadays that are just like they have these like glasses that you stick onto your face,
Yeah.
and you fly it around. Like, why can't that same technology be applied to
Oh,
cars?
easily could, but that's not the point. The point is the danger. People don't go there to see the people go around
Listen.
the track in
It's
circles.
like watching
You know what?
people
I would love
play
to see- I would love to
Madden
see-
versus actually playing NFL.
I would love to see people. I would love to see like F1
great
cars
analogy,
doing
by the way.
crazy
Thank you.
crashes, but not with people in them. Like I don't want to see people get hurt, but like seeing that crazy explosion because the car took a wrong turn.
the
I could
risk
see
is
like,
a
even more
danger.
extreme
right,
driving, or like more extreme
people
performance.
wouldn't have to be worry about their safety.
I can see that being like a separate field of racing potentially, but I don't think it's going to replace actual
It's
racing.
like it's like Mecha Football League. And that's.
Are you
it's
telling
cool
me that?
you
Are you
can go
telling me
there.
that
sounds really
robots
cool.
could fucking play football against each other?
No, that sounds awesome, but it sounds like a different type of sport.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's not the same thing.
The
It's
thrill
part
of it is different.
Part of the point of driving and driving at that level is doing it and running it right to the line without messing up.
It's
if you
also-
don't have the risk of messing up
I-
and causing a giant wreck, then everybody be driving like complete assholes.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm just saying, like, we have the technology now to like
To
get
make
rid of
it
that.
lame,
rid
yes,
of that,
but
yeah.
we don't want to make it lame. It's
not
already lame.
I don't
It's
think it would
already
be
people
lame.
going in a circle. Don't make it more
you
lame.
can make the cars even faster.
I
you
guess
can make them more
F1 at least
bombastic.
sometimes open track.
Speaking of robots racing,
Robots in the
100-foot robot golf comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Very soon.
What is that?
October 10th. You do not remember 100-foot robot golf?
You're a 100-foot robot, and you're
And?
playing golf in like a
Yes.
city landscape.
And it's a PlayStation VR game.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, because
October
PlayStation
13th.
VR is
Have
actually
you ordered
coming
one?
out
October
very
10th.
soon.
I've pre-ordered the PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered one.
It's the 10th or the 13th.
Well, the game comes out on the 10th, it looks like,
But
but
in
the
VR the
hardware comes out on
13th?
the 13th. Maybe you can play it without VR.
All right.
I think probably you can.
So you have pre-ordered a PlayStation VR.
Yes.
Dude, real
So here we
quick,
go. This is
that's
this
a 100-foot
100-foot
robot
robot golf right here.
I've never seen this before in my life.
It's
You know what it
it's
reminds
pretty-
me of,
It's pretty
honestly?
awesome.
I think I thought they announced it at PlayStation Experience last year. I could be wrong. Or maybe it was E3 last year.
We've
I-
been looking for a replacement for mini golf. So this
I
may have
love
just done
the fact that you can just like you can just, right? You can just fuck with the other person. It's not just a mini
it. I'm
golf.
pretty sure you're not going to play split screen on PlayStation VR.
The scale of it
Okay.
also kind of reminds me of in Psychonauts when you go into the Fish City level, and you're enormous. You're basically Godzilla. It reminds me of that. I like it.
yeah.
But like it's like cute Godzilla
Kind of
who
reminds me of.
who really just wants to golf.
Do you remember that level in Bullet Storm where you were in a I think it was like a movie set where you had these like buildings that were about your height and you were just like barreling through them? It was a fucking awesome mission.
All right, so this one is for you, Adam. Robo Race. Thanks to Peter Hayes F1 on Twitter for this. Robo Race was announced this year. It's full AI run by an algorithm, so it's AI racing.
That's
There you go. Super
close.
different.
That's close. Not what I want though. Like I don't care if a robot can beat another robot. I want to see a person race another person with a not remote control, but like a remote driving interface,
God, Adam, you are so needy.
an RDI.
No, I'm with you.
Why?
I'm with you.
Why?
That sounds way more
because
interesting.
about
you can
that?
fucking make the cars go 600 miles an hour instead of 300.
They still have to make a turn.
Well, listen, dude. They've toned down the cars from what they used to be. Like I don't know much about F1, but I do know, thanks to Joel, that the cars used to be way faster and more dangerous. But because people are in them, they have to tone them down. So you give them remote driving interfaces, RDIs, and then they're able to drive without
Adam,
worrying about exploding.
I'm gonna save you the trouble. You just go over to Fry's here in Austin. Every Saturday and Sunday, they have RC cars racing around in the parking lot.
Not as
You can
Those
do
things
it.
are fast. Have you seen them? It's super extreme. It's remote control car racing, Adam. Remote control
It's
car.
not the same. It's not the same.
No.
You ever
No,
see-
it's
you ever
not
see-
the same,
you
and
ever
that's
see-
the point.
You ever seen those $20,000 remote control planes that are like basically 1/2 scale of a real plane?
It's not half scale, but
Whatever. I mean, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying. It's
Quarter
it's
scale. Like the
fucking
ones
big.
that are
It's
legit
like 20
jets.
feet long.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have real jets on them, right? Jet engines.
Right. And then you see that video, the one that just like took a turn and just fell apart. And it was $20,000 gone. Sucks.
Yeah, that's
Hell of an
awful.
investment. That's why I like video game cars.
Right.
Also, because then I
Easily
can wreck
replaceable.
them and
not die.
I can dent them. I can do that without dying.
Yep. See?
And I can pretend that I'm good at them. For not being car people, we all have an awful lot of really strong,
I have
mostly stupid
opinions.
opinions.
Yeah, I don't know why
about
I'm standing
vehicles.
up for this non-robot league thing because I could give two shits about racing.
I just
Sorry,
appreciate
racing
like you getting
enthusiasts.
fighty.
Wasn't there
Fight.
Didn't Japan
just
challenge America to a giant robot
A mech
fight?
fight.
yes,
Well, it
it's
wasn't
been
Japan
accepted.
versus America. It was a company in America
Sure,
versus
a Japanese company versus an American
Was it like
company.
the countries were like
Really, this
today?
What
No,
happened
no.
to that?
What are you gonna do? Not support your country?
I mean, I don't
Ryan?
know. The Japanese mech looks a little bit cooler.
Listen,
It does look really, really cool,
the
doesn't it?
Japanese are experienced in building awesome
true.
mechs. They already have a couple. They have like 2 Gundams.
I guess to be fair though, the Japanese mech isn't
do they
mounted
golf?
with legit weapons, whereas the American company made one that actually has like a projectile launchers on it.
Well,
they
yeah.
fire paint, but
Obviously, I mean,
Paint's
why
a
would
projectile.
Why
It
make a
is.
mech that doesn't shoot stuff?
well, it looks cooler.
What's it gonna do? Rescue people?
Maybe bomb defusal.
But, yeah.
Is that it?
Oh, that's the American team. That's them challenging.
They look at those glorious flags and sweet
I
sunglasses.
don't think that has gone anywhere though.
Not yet. I think that they've had a couple of like follow-up discussions and or challenges or re-challenges or
I think
challenge
the
backs or
United
whatever.
Nations has put a stop to America fighting.
No way. Hold on. I'm going to Google this. I'm going to see like what's the latest on Japan versus America mech fight.
So-
It's funny you say that, but I think I actually
Oh
looked
yeah.
it up
Look,
recently.
here's the thing. My autocompletes, I have Japan versus America, and the 3 autocompletes are Robot Fight, mech battle, and robot fight date.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 that come up.
Important
so
topics.
Let's go with
I
it.
wonder where would the fight be? Do they have to find like an island halfway across the Pacific?
Still on. Okay, as of July 21st, it's still on, but delayed. Let's find out more.
Where's the neutral ground in this world? Like, is it Antarctica? Who controls that?
Right, that's
What do we do to the moon? The moon is technically neutral territory.
No, we claimed it.
Yeah, we got a flag on there. Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Totally ours.
Yeah, really? Because I think China was planning on mining it.
we call dibs. You're the first one there. You touch it, dibs.
They may have been there
It's
more
got our
recently, but
footprints,
yeah,
and
we
it's
got
got
our
our
first flag.
Do you have a flag?
I think the rules are, though, you have to have like a permanent colonization, right? You have to have like at least 2 people living in a place to have it be yours.
Well, how many people does America have living in space? Because that's almost ours.
I mean, well, there's plenty
All
of
of
Russians
space?
up there too.
Like in the space station, that counts as
Yeah.
space.
So we had to claim all of space because we got a couple
Just
people up
filling
there.
in that.
Plus, the Russians stay there way longer. They leave their cosmonauts up there for like 3 times the length of the time we send them.
Poor guy. It's probably better than Russia.
Yeah,
Though.
so, if you had to go back to Russia, I'd be like, no, I'll stay in space. It's fine.
You know what? The bone density lost isn't so bad. It's okay. Oh no, I can't walk down there anymore. I have to stay up here forever. Bring me more freeze-dried peas.
All right, so no date. No date on the mech fight. They're looking for a venue, apparently.
Damn.
Well, they're incompatible
Once again,
mechs
we suggest the moon.
The moon is a great. Yeah, well, I mean, they need some gravity. Otherwise, not that there's no gravity on the moon, but
They just need to calibrate. It's fine.
a lot of calibration.
You got to design your mech totally differently for a low G environment.
I will say though that unfortunately the Japanese mech was not designed to be a fighting mech the same way that the American team actually made it to do mech fights.
Oh, bolt some armor plating on it and give
actually,
it a gun.
their
Let's
armor plating is
go.
better. The American team, their mechs are designed for the pilots to get splattered. Like they have like open mesh, metal mesh, but open mesh cockpits, so that if you get hit, you're still covered in shit. Whereas the Japanese version is completely a sealed cockpit,
Why would they leave it open?
so that the pilots get hit.
So that you can watch people die.
He's talking
It's
about
firing
paintball.
like paint and water.
He's talking about a paintball mech. He's not talking about like a bullet
Doesn't sound
killing.
very effective.
So I think they have mounted it with something like a BB gun or something that shredded a car. They had one of their.
That shredded a car.
Honestly, this just
I
makes me
forget
want
what else
another
they
Zone
put
of
on
the
it.
Enders game.
But there are some videos where that
Kojima?
they fought
Yeah.
a car with it and just like blew out the windows and things. Believe it or not, it was a decommissioned
was the car fighting
the
back?
mech won, but the car looked good losing.
So we mentioned 100-foot robot golf, which made me mention PSX, which makes me remember PlayStation Experience has been announced again for this year in Anaheim. They keep moving it around. I think the first one was in Vegas, second one was in San Francisco. Now it's to be in Anaheim.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm fine with that. It's cool to have it like in a new location every year. Anaheim, they're used to dealing with an awful lot of people.
Yeah.
It's December again, yeah. So it's around
December
the same time.
3rd and 4th. So I've been to every PlayStation Experience so far.
I have no idea. Even like I don't know what it is other than a convention for PlayStation.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's yeah.
Imagine
I don't-
E3, but only Sony stuff.
Okay.
And convention almost isn't even the right word for it. It's like it's a lot of like demos.
Okay.
And that's
is it
what
all,
stuff so you
is it
can
all
go.
industry or is it like
No,
No,
open to
it's
consumer.
open to
open?
consumer, and they do have some announcements and cool stuff there.
where
But a
last
lot
year
of it
they
is so you
announced
can go
the-
and play games.
That's where they announced the 20th anniversary PlayStation 4.
Oh,
that I
man.
didn't get.
goddamn nightmare that was. I just wanted a controller. I didn't want the fucking box.
I think you can buy the controllers.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, I think they sell the controllers. now.
Okay.
You can get
Yeah,
them.
they're a little bit different, I think, but you can get one.
So it's not quite as cool. But I can still pay money for it.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. It's cool enough for your dollars. Let's see. Well, had something else I was going to say about Horizon. Oh yeah. So Horizon is the first one in the series I played. You know, it's like fully open world, right? So first of all, it's in Australia, which is awesome.
I hear that it's fun. I
Wait.
hear that like the Australia area is fun to drive
Where do
around
you
in.
go? I mean, Australia's got like a bunch of big cities, but they're all around the coast, and like there's
So
nothing
it's,
in the middle, right?
Like it's kind of like take like Red Dead Redemption, right? Where it's the Old West, but it's like a shrunk down version. It doesn't feel like that when you're in it. It still feels sprawling and vast, but you can't actually drive a horse from from like Kansas to Mexico in 30 minutes.
Right.
So it's like the scale is reduced.
Kind of like the crew did.
The horsing steering wheel is too
So
complicated.
the areas that I've been in so far is it starts you out in kind of like a rainforesty, like jungly, like the tropical area around like Byron Bay, and then there's you have a choice. Like once you level up to a certain point, you choose where the festival opens up to next. You can choose Surfer's Paradise, which is like urban sprawl, but also on the beach. Or you can go to the Outback, which is a lot of off-roading and that kind of thing. So here is the game map. Here's like a down in the lower right, that's the Byron Bay jungly area. The top right there is Surfer's Paradise, and then you start to get off to the left, like the top left, and that's all Outback stuff. So you get a lot of really cool variety in the terrain. What's up?
So is the city there, is that actually a real city?
Oh yeah, Surfer's
analog?
Paradise?
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, so you have the choice between which one you open up first. I went with Surfer's Paradise, and it brings up stats to like community stats showing, oh, X% of people did this one as well. It was 4%.
Wow.
Everyone chose the Outback. I chose Surfer's Paradise because I've been there on holiday a couple of times, and so I was like, this is really cool to just go and be driving around in there like an insane person, because it's a city, but it's right on the beach. It's got some huge skyscrapers. It's really gorgeous, actually.
Surfer's Paradise would have to be on the beach, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, if it's not, it's a bit of a misnomer. So I went there, but everyone else went to the Outback, and I haven't expanded there yet. But it's really cool in that I drove from Byron Bay up to Surfer's Paradise to open it. And as you in this game, you're like the manager of the festival, so you're racing and everything and doing all this stuff, but you also are making all the decisions about how it progresses. So you go to a race, and you can actually set it up. They've got this new feature called like a blueprint. So if you don't like the default settings for a race, you go in and you can basically redesign the race the way you want it. So you can say, I want this to be all 60s muscle cars, or I want them to all to be Fords, or whatever, and you can set the car requirements, like time of day, weather, are you doing laps, or is it just like a once around, like what are the conditions for the race itself? And then, you're the boss, so you get to call all those shots, and then you get to race those shots.
Is that then open to a multiplayer setting, or is it only AI?
Yeah, I haven't done a lot in the online version of the world, because I don't know a lot of other like racing gamers, and they would also all laugh at me because I'm bad anyway. So I haven't done online much, but you can do co-op, and the co-op progress carries back into your single player as well,
okay.
Which is pretty cool. They've done a lot with that. The world is also populated by other people's drivatars, which they like generate an AI algorithm to mimic how you would drive. So there's an AI version out there of me somewhere that I think may be even earning me experience driving around in other people's games.
I would call it Drivatar.
Anybody that's playing Forza, I would love you to send us video for Forza.
If anyone gets me.
Find Ashley's Drivatar and see if it drives, because that could be real embarrassing, right? Like your Drivatar could just be like, I'm running
pretty
into the
sure
wall.
my Drivatar is just like driving off cliffs at people and coming in last in every race. That's fine. My gamer tag is Jinx for anyone who may get me.
I would love to drive like incredibly insanely in that game and just see if you could create the most hyper aggressive Drivatar, just like a predatory Drivatar.
It'd be great if you could get like a report card, like, since the last time you played, your Drivatar has been in this many races. On average, it comes in this place.
It's
I
killed
wonder if
17
it does something
people.
like that. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm a kind of a stats person, so I'd like to see a little more stats like that.
I'd like to know what my alter me is doing.
Right.
Exactly. I'd like to know like what AI me is getting up to, and if they're any good.
And if they're improving.
Exactly. So that's a lot of fun, because it's the world is just poppy. Like there are people driving around on the roads, and you can drive up to pretty much any one of them and challenge them to a race. The race starts right then. It just generates a street race to a destination, and then you win it or you lose it, whatever, and then it goes back to being like, oh, you actually wanted to go to this place? All right, we'll continue on that way.
You pull up next to them at a stoplight, and then you make eye contact, and then you rev your engine, and then they rev their engine, and then you make like some encouraging words like you're stupid and you look stupid and you're a stupid person, and then you race.
And then it's on.
And then it's on.
Ryan, that implies stopping in the game.
So you just blow by them like, you suck at racing!
Yeah, you actually come up behind them, and then you challenge them, and they start in front of you, and then you just have to like do stylish pass.
It'd be better if like you blow by them and just turn around and go, "You're losing."
Do you guys remember the game Midnight Club?
Yeah.
I never played
Midnight
it.
Club LA, yeah.
That was like
was that a Rockstar game?
Yes. It was like Midnight Club 1 and 2. I don't remember what those games had about them, but like those were the games I was most into in terms of racing games. I think it might have been just the customization and all the cool neon lights, but I don't know. Does it like compare at all in that sense of like you can customize your cars a lot and put stupid body kits on them and make them look real dumb?
I haven't done stupid body kits, but whenever you get a new car, it does load a gallery of user-created skins, like paint jobs or decorations or whatever. And so you can go through and choose from a whole bunch of those. I haven't figured out yet if I can say, I don't like any of these, bring up a new selection. Because so far I've just been like, yeah, that was pretty sweet. And then I take that one and I never think of it again. But it's pretty neat. It'll say after a while, like, if you've gone through a couple of races and you've been using like that car with that skin, it goes, you seem to like this. Do you want to officially like it? That will help its rating. And I always go, yeah, good job. Good job. And I've seen
you like the Emperor, you're like,
yeah, exactly. And I've already seen. Apparently, Ryan, you also have a Drivatar already.
I what?
So Abi Ahmed Hukumar on Twitter says that Ryan, you have a Drivatar. He pops up in the races sometimes.
I think it's based upon. I think it just generates one based upon if you're following someone and your friend, like on Xbox.
I could.
Probably not.
Probably
you
not.
haven't driven yet.
Probably terrible. I deserve to be terrible in a game I've never touched.
Well, you might be like a default Drivatar, and that's fine.
Well, now I can have to play it a little bit just so I can be the insane driver that I want to be.
Just play it once and have a really good race, and then stop.
Oh,
Yeah, go out at the top of your game.
yeah, just do good and then stop.
Yeah,
that's where I pull the plug right there.
And there's also, let's see, there was one other thing about it.
That's the ultimate quit while you're ahead.
Hold on, I'll think
You
about
think
it for
about
a
it.
second.
Hold on, I'm
I'll
going to read
think
this real
about
quick. Hey guys, you don't need to choose between price and quality to get an amazing and affordable shave. DollarShaveClub.com is the answer. To prove how amazing their shave really is, right now they're going to give you your first month free to join the club. DollarShaveClub.com delivers amazing razors right to my door for a third of the price of what those greedy razor corporations charge. I get a first-class shave when I use the Executive Blade. And when I use it with their Dr. Carver's Shave Butter, the blade just gently glides for the smoothest shave ever. Here's your chance to see why over 3 million members like me love Dollar Shave Club. Dollar Shave Club is so confident in the quality of all their products, now you can get the first month of the club for free. Just pay shipping. After that, just a few bucks a month, no long-term commitment, no hidden fees. There's no reason not to do it. Get yours at dollarshaveclub.com/patch. That's dollarshaveclub.com/patch. Thank you, Dollar Shave Club, for supporting us.
You're really good at that.
Thanks. Most of those words worked. By the way, why is the button on this so sticky?
You don't want to know.
Don't ask.
Okay. So you're saying I should not bring up the search history?
Nope. All right. Peter Hayes on Twitter says that you can do realistic body kits. You can do and Forza's default race kits, and it varies based on your vehicle.
Cool. Unless I want the Warthog wheels.
Unless you want the Warthog wheels, and then you just got to deal with what you got. Right. So what I was going to say was I was talking to Adam. Was I talking to you last week? Or was I talking to you on Monday? I was trying to decide what platform to get the game on because it's on Xbox One and it's on PC. And I was thinking about getting it for PC and just playing with a controller. Although PC apparently doesn't support a steering wheel. Xbox One does.
What?
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm just reporting here. I think it's weird too.
This is where the Windows
Makes
Play
no
Anywhere
damn
stuff
sense.
breaks down.
It
doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense. But it doesn't affect me personally because I don't have a wheel anyway. Wait. Maybe I do and it's in a closet. I might have a wheel. Maybe it's a joystick. I don't know. I'm going to go find it. But so the Xbox One does support that. But yeah, Windows doesn't. I don't know why. And that was going to be the deciding factor. And then I looked it up and thought, oh, it's Play Anywhere. That's nice. So I get it on both.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I heard that the PC version does not perform well.
I have heard that as well.
What a
That was
shock.
another deciding factor
And
against
I've
it.
seen video evidence of it not performing well.
Like
so that's a
really
little
choppy.
Yeah, like really bad frame rates and just not.
The guys who do like all the comparisons and everything for Eurogamer, what are they called? They do like comparisons for like PC versus console and everything, and I'm blanking on their
Digital
name right
Foundry?
now. There we go, Digital Foundry. Thank you, Gus.
Yeah. I gotcha.
They did a comparison on it, and the PC does have some pretty significant performance issues. Like even if you have high-end stuff, depending on your configuration, it might just be doo-doo.
I don't have high-end stuff. I'd be screwed.
But what do you mean you don't have high-end stuff?
It seems to depend like on largely on configuration, but I don't know what the specific pieces of hardware or drivers are that are causing the issues. I just know that, and this is in addition to having wheel support. Adam, this is one of the advantages to just doing it on console. This is where you just go, this one at least just works. I don't have to worry about it. It's not as pretty. It's not as high resolution. Actually, someday I am looking forward to seeing it, like in like beautiful definition. But for now, it just works, and I like that.
It's getting ridiculous. So, like, there's this soccer game, Pro Evolution Soccer 2016, that it came out on PC and PS4, and the basically their solution, I guess, on the PC was just to completely destroy the graphics. They're just awful. To keep it in parity, I guess. I mean, I've got a video up here, but I don't know if
that's stupid.
Should show it or not. But yeah, no, if you can look it up, it's just Pro Evolution Soccer 2016. Yeah, so their PC graphics are just flat. The lighting's awful. Like, they don't have any like occlusion at all. It's just terrible. And I guess that's the only way they could get it to run.
That's so bizarre. I guess like that just continues the cycle. It seems like we talk about that every week now. A game that works fine on a console that gets a shitty PC port. Didn't it used to be the other way? Like, is this a new thing? Like, when did this happen? When did the flip happen?
Yeah,
this is like Sony and Microsoft putting a lot of money behind screwing over PC ports.
I don't know that it's.
I'm joking.
I don't know. I honestly, I get the feeling that a lot of publishers blame piracy for poor sales performance on PC, and so they see no reason to invest in it if people are just going to steal it anyway. I mean, granted,
that's a bad.
Yeah, that's
we
shitty
were
for
in
the
a
people who
window.
buy it.
I know it's
Oh, there
awful.
we go. There's the comparison video. We were in a window there.
This looks like a pre-rendered cutscene, though.
That's PS4. I don't know where the PC switch is going to be. I guess it's just a bunch of PS4 footage. That
looks good.
But they all look really happy. They're having a good time.
Xbox
The
One.
mounts are terrible.
I mean, just wait till you see a PC. If it ever cuts to a PC, it'll be
We'll
bad.
get there. We'll get there.
I promise it'll be super bad. Not yet, though. Any day.
I feel like we're getting
close.
close.
The same rendered scene. There you go. PC.
For one, it has no frame rate.
There you go. That's how. Oh, there. See, there was a side-by-side PC to PS4.
Yeah, that was totally different.
Look at the crowd behind it. It's like just a bunch of shapes.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough.
Damn.
And now it's cell shaded.
Maybe on the PC version you're playing in hell and your audience is all ghosts.
That sucks.
It must feel like you're in there. Look at the reflections. Like, there's
grass.
No subsurface scattering on the skin.
I noticed that subsurface scattering right away.
Yeah, all about it.
There's no sheen, Gus. Where's the sheen?
God rays.
Probably don't have any of those either.
Yep.
Xbox One looks choppy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it might
terrible.
also just be that and I understand PC has a lot more hardware configurations and is therefore more difficult to optimize for. But I think I talked about it at length a patch or two ago. Just I'm tired of shitty PC ports. It's not fair. It's not fair.
I mean, if piracy was
you know
the
what?
argument.
We also, on the PC, we get games that, I guess, so does consoles, that are exclusive to the PC that, like, are an experience you can't really have on the console. So,
Like Elite Dangerous.
like Elite
Oh, wait,
Dangerous. Star Citizen is the one I'm thinking of.
Dangerous
That's
is
like,
on the consoles.
I'm going to upgrade my
You know
PC
that's
very
on
soon to be ready for Star
Right.
Citizen in like the 10 years when it comes out.
Yeah.
I don't know if like I should wait until it comes out to see what the requirements would be, but like I want to buy a 1080 Ti. But like I don't know if it's
You should wait until if you want to upgrade for Star Citizen, wait.
But
Yeah.
I also want to upgrade for VR. I'm running on a 780 right now. It's below spec for
You have one 780 or two?
one. It's below spec for VR, but it
it
works.
is, but it's still solid.
No, it totally works for most of the games. But again, like I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. Like I don't want to wait, but I also don't want to have I don't want to spend $700 on a graphics card and have it not be up to snuff for Star Citizen.
Yeah. I think we're closer to the end than the beginning.
Right. You know what? I mean, I don't know. I guess they're coming out with an alpha patch. I think it's 3.0, and by then you'll kind of have a benchmark of how it runs because they're solving a lot of their netcode issues where people are like right now when you're in a multiplayer session, it renders everything for every person. Like inside, outside of ships, all player models and whatever. And so even if you're running on a 1080, like it doesn't run well. Like you can't like get over like 25 frames per second. So I think when patch
It's cinematic, Ryan.
and I could be a little off base
Sure.
on this, but I think when patch 3.0 comes out, it's supposed to fix some of that, so people will be able to get reasonable frame rates. And I think by then we'll be able to know like if a 1080 Ti is enough for a 1080 whenever that card even comes out.
Yeah.
But That game,
If a 1080 is not enough, then who are you making this game for?
I can't.
The thing would be if the game is still that far away in the future, if it's still a couple of generations of GPU away.
Right.
They gotta at some point release a game and actually sell a product.
I mean,
right?
the thing
they're
is
writing
that,
a
like,
lot of money, but how long can
they are like I don't know if many people realize, but they are putting out like not like they're putting out modules, but they're putting out like playable stuff. Like they just put out 2.5, which is like a big update where I believe you can play with other people in your ship now and fly around and do missions and land on like a space station and get out, so on and so forth. So there is like some game there that is playable. Did you watch the Game Comms?
That was unbelievable.
I couldn't stay in my seat. Like the first 15 minutes of that, where it starts off and like it's one guy on a space station, then he like walks and he meets up with his friend, and they get on a ship together and they take off and they go into warp speed and they like get to like this system, and it's like you can see like this, like I don't know if it's like a warp gate or what it is, but they fly through that and they look down and it's like a whole planet, and they're like, this is how big the planet is, we can land anywhere we want. And they landed, and the thing that actually sold me was when they landed, there was like some technical jank where they were like, he was trying to get back on the ship, but the ramp didn't quite touch the ground. And he was like, well, we're going to have to re-land the ship so we can try to get there. And they like had to re-land it a couple times so that he could like actually walk up the ramp. And he eventually like jumped up and just barely got on. But then they went to like a building on the planet. Like there's structures and stuff on the planet to go to. They went to the structure, and one guy got out, went in the structure, was walking around. It's kind of like sort of cyberpunky. There's neon signs everywhere. Then he looks out the window to see the rest of the planet, and the friend that was flying the ship flies down. And like you can see like there's like a persistence between what's outside flying around in the universe versus what's inside a building, and it's like that sort of persistence is fucking incredible. And this is the part where they land, and he gets out, and he's kind of like looking around, and then he like tries to get back on the ship, and it's a no-go. But like it's still early. You can tell like there's some jank to it, but the fact that they're showing this, it almost makes me believe that this might one day be a game, and I'm still sort of scared that it's not going to be.
Does that make you feel better seeing like a mistake like that?
Yeah,
then you know, like it's not pre-rendered, like that they're
right. But they could have planned this mistake.
Yeah, maybe.
But it didn't look that way, and like part of me wants to believe because I want that game to be what it's saying it's going to be.
Everyone does.
So I'm so far on that hype train, but it's like it's got to be 2 or 3 years out. And they targeted a 2014 release initially, which is like,
whoops.
Right? What are you thinking?
Well, that's the problem. They kept taking money, and it was like, oh, there's more features.
Well, there's a long fucking article that came out about the troubled history of the development of Star Citizen, and it is like 40 fucking pages. And it's all about things like that, where they started with a game of one scope, and all of a sudden they're still getting more and more and more and more and more money, and they have to figure out how to scale the game and use that money to develop the best product they can with the budget that they have. And now they have like 4 studios and all these different people making different pieces of the game and how they make them work together. And there's a whole lot of like difficulties that those studios have faced making the game, but it seems like it's somewhat coming together, even if we're a couple years out. Like, I don't know, I'm super excited.
Well, you're starting to see systems connected and working together.
Right. I see someone on a space station. I see someone on that same space station walking onto a ship, take off, warp to another planet with another player on the ship with him, then land on the like.
Because that was the concern for a long time. It's like you said, there's all these studios working on these different modules. And how do they all come together?
That was a problem where they were like, well, we can't make all these systems talk together. We have no idea how to. And they're working off, I believe, I think they said it was Unreal 4, or no, it was CryEngine. They're working off CryEngine, and they had to, because they're doing that, they have the limitations of what can this engine do? How do we have to change it to work to fit our needs? Mm-hmm. And reading that story was very interesting, but also gave me kind of a lot of hope, because it talked about all the problems that they've had, but then talked about also how they were fixing them or fixed them. Mm-hmm. But
this is the same document that was talking about how with the problems they had to overcome just to have a stable first-person view.
Yeah, well,
that documentary?
They have videos like that every week.
Right?
Yeah, that was really, really, really interesting. Well, basically, they have a camera attached to your face, but if you just walk like that, because it's based on the third-person movement, your camera goes like this, and you can't see anything. And how they fix that, those devlogs are give me a lot of hope for that game. But I'm going to hopefully buy HOTAS for that game and upgrade my PC.
At the same time, though, it seems like it was a weird conversation to have, because it was all about how they had to solve this idea of having a first-person camera mounted to a legitimate 3D model that existed in a world. But they kept addressing it like it'd never been done before. I mean, it seems like this should have been a problem that has been solved a while ago, right? People figured out how to mount a camera on a head.
I think that potentially it's also a challenge of the engine that they're using. It's not an engine that they built in house. It's an engine that they've then it's the Cry engine that they've modded to work with their stuff, and that's like one of the things that they one of the examples of how they had to work with that engine to make it work for them.
As he was talking about, though, he was like, "Yeah, we spent all this development time trying to figure out how to make," and then they were like, "Oh, it turns out your eyeballs auto level a little bit," and then. So they had a person doing research on biological functions to incorporate into this digital world.
Do you think?
But surely this problem has been solved.
Do you think that guy
you
sat
starting
down
at
at
scratch?
Google and was like,
All right,
how do eyes work?
how does eyeball flat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but all the systems work together. They did like the FPS part of the video, and it's just like
Those have been some cool demos. I think they did a demo last Gamescom on the FPS module.
it's very, very exciting. If that game is like 10% of what it promises, I'm gonna fucking play it for like 6 years.
I just don't put yourself in that. Don't No Man's Sky yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of
Don't
like,
put yourself in
it's
that.
kind of the dream of what people wanted from No Man's Sky.
And this is the problem is like it's impossible to like contain what your brain thinks the game is going to be versus what it is, and I don't know. I'm trying to trust
If they
me.
could just deliver
just let
Privateer
it
with better
sleep.
graphics.
I know. For a while I did, and it was like then I started playing Elite Dangerous with the Vive, and I was like, this is and with the HOTAS, I'm like, I just want to do this all the time, and yeah. But we'll see in a couple of years.
Yeah.
we'll have
I
a patch in 2 years.
I think hopefully by the end of next year. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Ooh.
you think it'd be like holiday 2017?
Maybe. Yeah. I'm like I can hope.
I mean, we'll see when 3.0 releases, like how far into a game that is, because that is like it's going to have the stuff they showed in that demo. I think that demo was 3.0, where it's going to have you can fly to different planets, you can go to different stations, you can get different missions, you can hook up with your friends. That is the core of their game. It's just a matter of like how much of it there is. We'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be really
Once you
interesting.
got the universe built, then you start building the story because there's a campaign associated
They have
with it.
it's sort of a separate game.
Yeah.
It's called Squadron 42, and they like that's another crazy thing. They have like Gary Oldman, like they talk about like how many like polygons they put into each face, and like visually that game is incredibly impressive.
You're right.
So I don't know, like that is I think that's like a separate. I don't know if it's a separate studio or a separate portion of a studio, but that is going to be a separate thing. So who knows? But fuck, man, that game is so exciting.
Yeah, they got a pretty all-star cast. Looks like Gary Oldman, Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
Who else is on here?
Well, those are the
Gillian
headliners.
Anderson.
Oh,
Who'd you say?
Gillian
Gillian
Anderson.
Anderson.
Oh, okay.
you want to
I
believe?
thought you said Louis Anderson.
John Rhys Davies.
wow,
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis?
Starting to sound like a Wing Commander reunion.
Yeah, there's definitely, some Wing Commander mainstays in there.
Well, speaking of building a story, there was something else that came up today, or maybe potentially yesterday, that Destiny 2 has leaked.
God.
Maybe coming to PC.
I'm so excited
You
about
know-
this
And
news.
that Luke Smith may be directing. And if you remember, he was the director. What?
Just laughing.
aside
like
from
the last big news you heard about Luke Smith was him telling
people
trash talking to people like you'll throw money at the screen for these emotes. I have no problem with Luke Smith. I just think like that's the first thing that comes to mind now.
yeah, that was a good time.
There's a
But
lot of
he also
interesting
directed
revelations.
Taken King.
There's a lot of interesting revelations in this leak, like the fact that it's claimed that supposedly it'll be out on PC as well.
That's
and
the best.
Also that it may not carry over anything from the current game.
That's okay.
Like it's a fresh start. It may
That's okay.
it may not bring characters like your characters, your gear, or anything like that. And that the idea is to be a fresh start. And apparently a lot of that is it's technical limitations, stuff that has held them back with the original Destiny.
Well, that's
and that they
nonsense.
don't want.
No.
What?
That's nonsense.
No.
Technical limitations are stopping you from transferring your character. Your character's just a bunch
No,
of
no, no.
names.
I think just that they want to do like a fresh start. That
Like,
it's
if
going to
they
be
wanna-
like all
like a new
all
engine.
new.
That's
like,
fine.
I have-
None of that
I have-
stops you from transferring
I have
anything.
no.
But
like,
I'm fine with it.
I have no problem with them like scrapping everything
Yeah.
if it means that they can then take all the problems that they had. Like I don't know if we talked about this, but they had like a problem where if they wanted to change a rock, it would be a process of like loading up that map where the rock was, and that would take 8 hours. And they would do their 5-minute change to the rock and like save that change to the map, and it would be like another 8 hours. And that's why like expanding content in Destiny is so hard, and why like they reuse a lot of the assets is because of that specific issue. But if it means that they can scrap some of that stuff and make it this, they said it's going to be like a big open world and change the way the maps work, and it's going to have like more outposts and towns and stuff to make the world feel more lived in. Like the stuff I did in Destiny 1 and I'm doing right now, like I'll just remember as memories. In the same way that like when I played like 200 hours of Guild Wars 1, and then I went to Guild Wars 2 just as happy. Like I didn't carry any of that stuff over, but it just lived on, and like I did that stuff and I loved it, and it's there in my head. But it doesn't necessarily need to be represented in my new experience.
I'm fine with not carrying a character forward. That doesn't bother me really at all, because it's a new game, it's a new experience. You want to. Most times when you start a game like that, you want to kind of start at zero and experience it from the ground up. I don't know that I would be as happy if they just scrapped the entire world building that they did. Like,
I don't know that they're going to do that so much. In fact, I'm wondering if it just like it hops around in
they were
eras
throwing around the
like
reboot word. And to get
I didn't hear reboot so much, but I did hear refresh, which is a little bit different.
We just did a new story. It had reboot in it like 6 times.
Maybe you got all the reboot words.
Maybe so.
I got the refresh
There
words.
was a lot of reboots in this new story. And if it is a reboot, a complete reboot, that would kind of bother me a little bit. Cause
What? Like, are you talking about just in terms of story and lore?
Yeah, I mean, but they have to do something then to bridge Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, because at the moment where we stand, there wouldn't be no outposts on the Earth, because the Earth is not populated. Everybody's holed up in little cities, like, well, 2 cities. And the tower is the last human outpost.
Honestly, like the story was in vanilla Destiny, the story was like so bland and
that is true,
non-comprehensive, that if they wanted to scrap it, I don't fucking care. Like
fine.
if they want to bring back the Traveler in some other capacity and then explain to us what the fuck he's doing there,
why he's a giant
after
dead
3
tennis
years,
ball.
right? Like, fine. I don't know, man. They're tied down to way too many systems in that game, like light level and like that stuff's too ingrained in how Destiny works, right? To try to bridge that over to a new game and like incorporate that stuff it's gonna hold it back.
We just have one mission where you're like, hey, we defeated all the bad guys. Now Earth's cool again. We can have some more of it. Done.
Right.
There you go. Destiny 2. You're ready.
Yeah, I mean, I can see some of the mechanics being rebooted. Stuff like the light level, like changing things up, like changing the gameplay to be more what the original, I guess, intention was before they had all that development trouble that saw them cutting content down to the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And also, remember before Destiny even came out, there was the document that leaked that showed the Destiny franchise 10-year plan that was going to be Destiny. The next year was going to be a Comet release, like their major expansion. And then it was going to be like Destiny 2. Like it was going to be like every other year practically. And
that document did outline that Destiny 2 would be on PC.
It did.
And the Xbox 720, because at the time we didn't know there was
I hope, dude, I really hope it is on PC, man. Like I'd rather play everything on PC. Just it's a better system all around for me personally. It's just easier to have it all in one place.
I'd rather play Pro Evolution Soccer on a console, honestly.
Yeah. Did you see the sheen?
Oh, okay, that's what we were talking. Okay, totally flew over my head for a second. I forgot that we looked at that.
And then the other thing that I think I read in this supposedly, this rumor, of course all rumor, was that the area to play in is going to be much bigger. And they said that the area on Saturn by itself is bigger than all of the current content in Destiny combined.
Which is pretty impressive.
Exciting as hell. As long as it's not like Saturn's the only planet. Because that was like the biggest disappointment for me, was like playing like seeing the early Destiny stuff and seeing like there's gonna be like 20 of these fucking planets. It's gonna be the coolest thing ever. And then there's like 4. It's like, oh, it's so small.
Yeah, a little bit of a bummer.
But that game has come back, and I'm still playing Rise of Iron. It is absolutely a repetitive game, but it's really fun. And I can't stop like making my light level climb a little bit by bit, because I really want to do a raid. I've never done one.
No? How have you made it this far in Destiny and never done a raid?
It's always like something like I'll always be like the early one playing it. Like in the vanilla Destiny, I played it like crap. I never quite got to the light level necessary, and then like I would fall off for some reason. Same thing with Taken King. But this time around, I'm in, and I just need to find people to play with, because there's no one playing that I know.
Oh yeah.
Well, then
I wish they had matchmaking.
You'll be happy with another detail of the rumor that they're talking about raid matchmaking for Destiny 2, which is like PC and raid matchmaking and some semblance of story are like the things that people have been asking for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their argument was always that the raids are too communication intensive. It was like, well, it's all
which
right.
is not a thing that I mean, like I get it a little bit. because they do take a lot more coordination. If you get like one asshole in there, it can ruin the experience for the whole group. But if you're looking for a group of people who are also all looking for people to do a raid with, then yes, you're going to get some bad apples who are just in there to troll and make other people miserable. But then you also have the opportunity to do raids without having to have 5 of your friends who are also high enough level who are also available for a couple of hours right now.
I tried pugging a couple of raids in WoW, and let me tell you, that shit never works.
Listen, but they changed it. They changed it. So there's like, I don't know if this is still in the game, but they had like the looking for raid stuff where you could matchmake into a raid, and it would be accessible to like a pug group. So that stuff is viable. You just get lesser gear from it.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the end, like again, this may be an older WoW analogy. Again, I haven't played for a couple of years, but it's like you really come down to the point where it's like if you're missing, you cannot pug a tank or a healer. So maybe you can pug a DPS.
But I'm saying like the LFR filled all those roles for you. It's just like looking for dungeon.
But I know that the system exists. What I'm saying is you don't get quality. You end up with shit. You pug a fucking tank? Come on.
Thankfully, that Destiny doesn't have that trinity going for it.
That's true. And I would say that if they really are that worried about communication and experience, if they even did something as simple as you must complete the raid once to unlock matchmaking.
That's hard. That's hard for. I mean, I get that. I was thinking that they could do something like you would have requirements for like the more experienced people that just want to run through it. There's a different hopper
queue
for those that is like you've ran through it 3 or 4 times, and that's a requirement to get into that hopper.
Yeah.
And there's like new people that have only ran it 1 to 3 times go into they are slow and go like through the raid. But yeah. The communication problem is interesting. Like no one uses their mic anymore ever. I always try to hop on in fire teams and put my mic on and go to the fire team chat and or strike team chat and no one wants to chat. It was interesting playing VR when the microphone's just attached to you and it's on by default, like in Rec Room. You don't realize it.
Shut it up.
You don't realize it, and it's like you just start talking, and someone's like, "What did you say?" And you're like, "You can fucking hear me? What?"
I told a story on the patch a couple months ago, but you weren't on it, so I'll tell it again. There's a Dota 2 VR viewer, so you can watch Dota 2 matches in VR. And I was watching during the internationals, watching some of the games, and you could see like the other people with their headsets, like looking around. And I was in the lobby, and I was looking around in the lobby, and I heard I could see like someone was taking off their VR headset, and then someone else put it on, and I heard a woman's voice go, "Oh wow, this is so cool!" And every head in the lobby turned and looked at her and was like, "Oh my god, it's a girl!" And then she was like, "Oh shit, they can hear me." It's the same kind of experience.
That's really weird.
Yeah, it's so
unfortunate.
bizarre.
So sorry, females.
Yeah.
So it's features now.
We'll just get sweet voice changers.
There you go. Everybody needs to sound like Vader.
Voice modulators from the original Xbox Live. It was like
those were fun.
big selling point,
yeah.
dude. You're gonna be able to change your voice.
Well, it's time to wrap up. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you guys next week.
And if you are a Rooster Teeth First member, remember that you can check out the patch post show on roosterteeth.com every week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.